do you understand why I relentlessly focus on media coverage here? It's a shame. It makes me genuinely sad and full of sorrow. I'm not kidding. That we have to waste America's time on correcting legions of false data points put out by a bogus, destructive, hoaxing, collusion promoting, conspiracy theorist group of imbeciles in the mainstream media. The great Jerry Dunleavy over at Washington Examiner is all over this stuff as a piece up in the show notes. That is an absolute must read because your liberal friends who are always confused, some of them a little dopey, are probably still promoting the talking point. The IC, the intelligence community, said the Russians are back again in an effort to help Donald Trump. You've heard that, right? Remember that story? Problem is, it's all been debunked. Jerry Dunleavy, Washington Examiner. Not a Russia-only problem. The intelligence community disputes the media's 2020 interference reports. Shocker. Shocker. Yeah. As we heard, 2 or 3 weeks ago, the media, from a leak likely from one of Adam Schiff's staff, Adam Schiff from one of the hapless, collusion-hoaxing, feckless Democrats up on the Hill, again interested in promoting disinformation on behalf of the Russians and everyone else, leaked to the media. Remember? An intelligence briefing happened up here, folks. This was the story. And they told us that the Russians are back in 2020 in the election, and they're back to help Donald Trump. Now that story has, through media-driven osmosis, through membrane gradients, has pushed through to the collective membrane of the United States the idea that the Russians are back to help Trump. And it's been festering now like I'll leave the grotesque examples out. Now that it's been festering like a pustulating infectatum for 3 weeks, okay. To quote my friend Charlie, my old Secret Service friend. Now the truth comes out, Joe, but it doesn't matter because liberal imbeciles and their media allies have already told you that it's true. The Russians are back and they're helping Trump. Here, from Jerry Dunleavy's actual piece. Now, of course, now that it's festered for a while, now we get the unclassified fact sheet from the DNI about what actually happened in the briefing. We get the fact sheet from the actual Director of National Intelligence. Quote, the intelligence community has not concluded that the Kremlin is directly aiding any candidate's re-election or any other candidate's election. By the way, folks, Bernie Sanders, too, was accused of the same thing. Nor have we concluded that the Russians will definitely choose to do so in 2020, the fact sheet reads. This is not a Russia-only problem. China, Iran, and other countries like North Korea, Cuba, and other non-state actors all have the opportunity, means, and potential motive to interfere in the 2020 elections as a way to achieve their goals.
Yeah.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, do you understand why I relentlessly focus on media coverage here? It's a shame. It makes me genuinely sad and full of sorrow. I'm not kidding. That we have to waste America's time on correcting legions of false data points put out by a bogus, destructive, hoaxing, collusion promoting, conspiracy theorist group of imbeciles in the mainstream media. It is really sad. But if I don't do this, no one will. And you will actually be under the belief that the coronavirus is going to kill everybody, that we're all going to die, that we should all be living in caves, and that the Russians are back again in 2020 to help Trump, despite the fact that that's not at all what was said in the actual briefing. But again, you probably won't hear a lot about Jerry Dunleavy's piece, because it's not in the media's interest to promote the fact that the intelligence community said nothing of the sort, that the Russians are back to help Trump. Or Bernie, for that. Remember, I'm no friend of Bernie. Bernie's a total fraud. Let me be crystal clear.
Yeah, right.
But remember that story, too? It's not just the media reporting that Trump was going to get helped by the Russians, but Bernie, too. Conveniently, Bernie's an enemy of the establishment Democrats, and it leaked just in time that the Russians were helping Bernie. Apparently, according to the IC, that's another bogus story, too. The downfall of our constitutional republic is going to be this media. It's going to be this media. Matter of fact, this dope at the BBC who showed up at a speech I gave the other day wrote this story about it saying, hey, Dan Bongino is blaming the media. Yes. The verdict is in, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely true. And I have the evidence to back it up. You have reported misinformation on a daily basis, whether on the Ukraine hoax, the whistleblower hoax, the Spygate hoax, or your coverage of the coronavirus outbreak, which has been devastatingly awful. Trump's mismanaging it. He's overreacted. Trump's mismanaging it. He's underreacted. Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Trump knew what he was doing in January. What Trump did in January was dopey. It was racist. What Trump did today was racist. Calling it Wuhan is racist. We're short testing kits. Down in the other article. Remember the article from yesterday, Politico? We're not short testing kits. This is your media. Democracy does die in the darkness. And the lights are being turned off by these media imbeciles.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.